Welcome back to the shop. Tonight we're continuing the white tractor saga. I'm currently trying to get a feel for how this Vanguard's going to fit in here. Show you what I've done so far. I haven't done a whole lot. Right now I just have the engine sitting on top of the frame. It's sitting on top of a old piece of 2x10 just to get the right height. The crankshaft height on the old opposed twin was about an inch and an eighth taller, inch and an eighth higher from the deck. So I have to build some kind of a motor mount for this one to get it up off the deck a little bit higher to maintain that same crankshaft height. So that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. I also have a couple other decisions to make here. This V-twin is a lot shorter than the opposed twin is. So what I wanted to do was get the shaft stub that bolts onto the front of the flywheel so I could run the PTO pulley, because this is the only PTO on the tractor right there. Every attachment that was made for this was driven off of that PTO with various sized drive shafts. I really would like to be able to use that, because I'd like to run the snowblower with this tractor and keep the other one just for cutting lawn. Just because that blowing snow is so hard on an engine, and the engine on the other one's kind of on its way out too. I'm going to have to rebuild that at some point. And thinking about that, I don't know why I don't just buy a new lawnmower. I guess this is just this is just too much fun for me, even though it's frustrating sometimes. But anyway, like I said, I have to figure out if I want to. I don't know. I would have to probably lengthen the drive shaft. The drive shaft that connects to the PTO side of the engine and then comes back to the charge pump for the hydrostatic transmission. That would have to be a little bit longer, because that's about the max length that I can get out of it right there. And I'm still a good probably 5.5 inches away from where I need to be. Not 5.5 inches in total, but that shaft stub that bolts onto the flywheel is only about 3 inches long. So I need to get the engine about 2 inches further forward. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. I have to decide if, first of all, I even want to do that. I could just leave it as is, use this engine to move this thing around, and just for the heck of it, to see if that transmission and rear end is even good. I haven't driven it around yet, so I really don't know. That might be the best thing to do, is just get this mocked up and fire it up and drive this around a little bit to see if it's even worth doing the rest of the way. But then I'd have to decide if I want to either lengthen that drive shaft or rebuild the original opposed twin. And I really would like to rebuild the original opposed twin. Those things are so much more torquey than these V-twins, and that's what you need for blowing snow, which is really what I want this for. And I really don't need it because I have the case, but it's just kind of a challenge and something that I want to see if I can do. So with that, I'll shut up and we can get going here and see what we can get done. So like I said, I already have the engine sitting up off the deck about 1.5 inches. It needs to be about 1 1/8 inches. This is just kind of for preliminary purposes here. I already checked the bolt holes on the bottom of this engine do not line up anywhere near close with the holes from the opposed twin. That's really what I was hoping for, but anyway, like I said, the crankshaft height is too low, so I'd have to build some kind of an engine mount anyway. So I was just digging around in my scrap pile here, and it turned out, got lucky, I have exactly what I need. This 1/8 inch piece of flat here, actually I think it's 3/16, and then that piece of square tubing right there, that's going to make up my engine mounts. I'm just going to split it exactly in half, and then I will weld the square tube to the flat bar, and that'll give me almost the exact height that I need to lift the crankshaft up to the height that it needs to be at. So if I can get that accomplished tonight, I'll be happy. So this piece ended up being like the perfect length. It's like 13.5 inches long, so I'm going to end up cutting 2 pieces out of it that are roughly like 6 and 11/16, and that's going to be just about perfect to fit on both sides of the bottom of that Vanguard. I'm going to go ahead and cut that right now, and then I have to cut 2 pieces of flat bar to weld at the bottom of that to make up the total thickness that I need. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This vise sucks. I have 3 vices and this is the worst one, and for some reason I end up using this one the most. I don't know why. Probably because it's right by the light. Trim those up a little bit, that should work. Alright, those pieces that I welded are cooling down. So in order to figure out where to drill the holes for the motor mounts into those pieces that I just welded, I needed to know what the bolt pattern looked like on the bottom of the engine. And rather than just trying to fit a tape measure in there and measure it, or tipping it upside down to measure the holes, the bottom of it was oily enough, so I just stamped it here on this envelope, and that got me a pretty good pattern of what it looked like. So I'm going to use the inside holes. Better view it here. I'm going to use the inside holes to bolt the engine to those mount pieces that I just welded together, and then I'll bolt those pieces directly to the deck on the frame, or directly to the frame rather. So when I drill those holes out, they just have to be 3 3/8 inches on center, and should be good. I should be able to bolt those to the bottom of the engine and then go from there. Alright, I got the engine in place for now. It's just about right where I want it. Kind of hard to tell. It looks like it's going to have to be offset from this PTO pulley. You know, this doesn't even really matter. I'm not going to use the PTO pulley with this engine in here. I think I decided what I'm going to do. Oops, sorry about my finger there. What I'm going to do is just put this one in here, mount it, and then fire it up and just see if this moves. And if it does, I'll keep this engine in here for a while. And if I can't use the snowblower on it, I'm not too concerned about it. Worst case scenario, I'll put a plow on it and use it that way for snow removal until I get the other opposed twin rebuilt. I just want to get something in here and see if that rear end and hydrostatic pump are going to be good. But you can see I got the mounts kind of where they need to be. I don't have the right size bolts in there right now. I didn't have any 3/8 bolts, so I'm going to have to run and pick some up tomorrow. But, and then I got to mark out the holes on the bottom there that I'm going to drill into the frame, because I want these to sit flush against the frame, because right now I'm about 3/16 of an inch too high. But once I shave that off or mount these flush with the frame, I'm going to have the crankshaft height that I need there. And even though I'm not going to have the front shaft on here to run the PTO, the crankshaft height still matters for the drive shaft, to keep that in alignment, because it's kind of tight down through there. But I've got it aligned just about perfect. I don't think it's going to be exactly as it was from the factory, but it'll be good enough to the point that I'm not hitting anything, so I'm not too worried about it. So that'll be the end of it for tonight. I'm gonna head in the house, and I'll come back out tomorrow probably. Tonight's Friday night, so I'll come back out tomorrow and keep working on this and see what kind of progress you can make. Maybe by the end of the weekend I'll be driving it around the shop. Who knows? Kind of doubt it, but who knows. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. A lot more coming.